Hello, everyone. My name is Jessie. I'm here with the Assistive Technology Advocacy Center of Disability Rights, New Jersey. And today we have Samantha with us, ready to talk about Talk to Me technologies. So, Samantha, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Thanks so much, Jesse. Hi, everybody. My name is Samantha. I am an AAC consultant with Talk to Me Technologies. I'm also a speech language pathologist, and I've been with Talk to Me for just about 4 years, and I've been an SLP for a little over 8. I came across Talk to Me Technologies as a speech therapist working in home health here in New Jersey. And I started to take out loaners for my clients who I found that might benefit from AAC, and wound up going through the process with them with Talk to Me Technologies, and just really enjoyed working with the team, and just the whole process of getting this technology into the hands of those who need it the most. So that's just a little brief background on me. Feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and then I'll look at that later on. Jesse will also share my contact information with anybody that attends this meeting, so that if you can reach out to me directly or give me a call if you have specific questions about any family members or clients of yours that you might think would benefit. So, Talk to Me Technologies is a company that provides speech generating devices for speech language pathologists and for individual clients. So, we work to provide SLPs with the tools that they need to use devices during their evaluation process, and then also to try out for individual clients for an extended period of time before they make the decision that this is the appropriate equipment for that individual. All of these devices are fundable through medical insurance, and we have a whole department that will complete that process with the speech therapist and their team. So I'm going to briefly go over the two different styles of loans that we have, and the processes of that. And then I'll also go into our actual systems. I have the website here pulled up on your screen, so that you can know how to navigate this yourself as well. So like I had mentioned, we do individual loaners for speech language pathologists. So an SLP can reach out to me and say, hey, I really want to look at one of the devices and use it with some of my clients. So I would help set them up with that. I'm also able to come out to a clinic, to a school, to a hospital, to a person's home to help with the evaluation process. I can bring all of the equipment, mounting, eye gaze, head tracking, all the different access methods, so that the SLP and the client can try out the different access methods to see what works best for them before deciding they want to move forward with like a trial period. The SLPs are also eligible to do complimentary training with our training specialists. So if they haven't heard of specific software or just want to learn more about the process, they're able to set those up remotely around their schedule. So that's another extra service to make sure that the speech therapist feels super supported and confident in what the equipment that they're using and the software that they're using as well. SLPs can hold on to these loaners for as long as they need. We want them to have access to the equipment. And then when they're done or they no longer are using it, they can send it back, and they can always request more at another time. So that's our SLP loaner program. Then we have individual clients. So if a speech therapist deems a client appropriate for a trial period, or their insurance requires a trial period, we will provide that trial as a complimentary service. Typically, the trials are about 4 weeks, but that depends on the equipment and insurance guidelines. So we kind of work together on a case-by-case basis to determine that. So the client would have their loaner for, let's say, that 4 week period. They can take it out in the community with them, use it in all different environments with different communication partners to really make sure they feel that this is working in their day to day and is functional for them long term. Something that's very unique to Talk to Me Technologies and that we're really proud of is our dedication to customization for the clients. So if you have a client or you're an individual and you're looking at a specific software, like let's say Grid 3, and you want to program SuperCore 30, which for some people, if you've never heard of that, that's okay, don't worry. I'm just giving an example. But that's a specific vocabulary page set within one of the devices. Um, so we would have you fill out a vocab inventory, the clients, all their personal information, like their favorite foods, places, people, things that you do, medical needs that you may have. And we will personalize the device on that software before it ships out to you for your trial period. So that way, when the device arrives, it's ready to rock and roll right out of the box. And you can continue to customize it during your trial period, of course. And those customizations will be saved rather. And then if you decided to move forward with the purchase through your medical insurance, we would transfer that onto your purchase device. So we have a whole dedicated vocabulary team to making sure that the device is perfectly fit for you or your loved one. We support the speech therapist also throughout that trial process. So if you or the family need any support during your trial, I'm able to either come out in person or we have training specialists remotely that can provide training support during that 4-week period to make sure that everyone feels super comfortable. We also have a technical support team. If you run into any errors or issues with editing or anything really, we're all available through email or phone or like myself in person to help make sure you feel supported. At the end of that trial period, the device will come back to our loan pool so another person can use it. And then you and the speech therapist and the team would make a decision whether you're going to continue looking or if this was a good fit for the individual. And then I would help the speech therapist with the report writing process that would get submitted to the medical insurance. Our funding department, like I mentioned, takes care of all of the interactions with the doctor's office, the insurance, and just provides everybody with a nice email update on the team as we reach each milestone. We continue to support the client and their families beyond the receival of their purchased device. We can provide training to school staff, day programs, if it's an adult and like maybe a day program, facility coordinators. We can train anybody that's involved in the client's life to make sure that they feel super supported and know how to help best support the client. If a client moves, we stay with the client. So if they're no longer working with that initial speech pathologist that got them the device, that's okay. We will provide that support wherever the person goes in the country. So that's a little bit about our trial process and our speech pathology loaners. So now I'm going to just kind of jump over to our device options. I'm also going to just highlight some areas on the website that have some free resources that you could download if you are in need. Under the resource tab, and you go to free downloads, there are personal communication boards. This is a very popular, you might have heard of the term like low-tech communication boards. So we have, they're all categorized. So medical-based, so there's adult, children's, and they're also available in English and Spanish. This is a new one to EMS communication, so emergency medical services. So this is a communication board tailored to interacting with those services, like in an ambulance or anything like that. If you're in the school setting or know someone that it is, this is a school board based section. There are communication boards based around some stories. And then we have them for all the different holidays and events. And lastly, we have them for all the seasons. So right now on the main page, you'll see the spring communication board. And you can just click on here, put your email in, and it'll send you a PDF file of the board. And you can print them off and use them with anybody that you might need. The resources, free downloads. lesson plans. This is a really great resource for families that might be new to AAC. There's different topics: play, snack, reading, bedtime, and getting dressed. So obviously these are a little bit more geared towards the pediatric population. They're also available in English and Spanish. But this is a really nice resource. This is what the insides look like here. It gives education on what it means to model on a communication device, how to expand a user's language, and give some concrete examples of how a parent could implement in their day-to-day things that they're already doing, because we know everyone is busy and you have your routines established at home. So this is to kind of incorporate the device into those already set routines based on the user's abilities. So again, you can just put your email in and it'll come right to you. Social stories, again, typically for more of our younger clientele, but taking care of my device, waiting for your device to arrive, and borrowing a device. So this could be super helpful for any individuals who might need some more understanding of that this is a borrowed device, or that this is how you take care of your device. You can personalize them for the person's name, which is really nice. And then lastly, there's some coloring books, which are really fun. And there are some AAC themes in there as well, all free to download and print off as you see fit. The other thing I wanted to just highlight too under resources, training materials. So there's lots of references here for you to look at if depending on what it is that you're needing some training on. I love the tutorial videos. They're divided into two of our main device models. So if you have one of our, it's called a Wego or TalkPad, which I'll get to in a moment, you can look for video tutorial guides on how to do things like editing, saving a button, etc. I'm a visual learner myself, so I like to watch a video and then do it in real time. So this is a really nice resource that you can use. And then you also have quick links to talk to any of our training or support teams too if you get stuck. The last education and training that I wanted to just show you guys is something called Smartbox Academy. Talk to Me Technologies and Smartbox have merged as two companies. So now we have a lot of resources here. This is great for speech therapists, for education team members, for families, and even for individuals that use AAC. They are short webinars that provide different topics, and based on what it is you're trying to learn about, they become super simplistic, or they're a little bit more in depth and a little bit longer. So this is a great resource. You can sign up for their newsletters and get all the updated information. There's a course catalog here. So this Intro to AAC is one of my favorite courses. It's 45 minutes. And you can get some ASHA CEUs for these, which if anyone is a speech pathologist on here, we know how important those are. This is really nice though for any pediatric or adult client family that is just starting into the AAC world, to kind of explain what AAC is. And then again, they get a little bit more in depth as you go down. But currently, I believe there's about 45 courses on here. Most of them are free, which is great. Anything that's super involved, there might be a small fee for, but you will see that clearly listed on here. So definitely check it out if you have the chance, and you can be up to date on all of the latest webinars. Okay, let me go back here. Sorry, one second. Okay,
Just so you know, this is Jessie, everyone. Samantha, just so you know, there are no current questions in the chat, but if I don't know if people wanted to wait until the end to maybe come off of mute, if that was easier for them. But just letting you know that the chat is currently still empty.
Okay, great. I'm gonna try to leave like 5 minutes at the end if anyone wants to ask any questions. But like I said, if you prefer to just talk to me directly and not in this space, Jessie will share my email Even if you want, Jesse, if you want to throw it in the chat, you're more
Sure,
than
yeah,
welcome
I
to
will
do
do that
that.
now.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so under the AAC systems, I'm just going to click the overview button here. Um, as you slide down, it organizes the devices into what we offer. So we have the grid pad, which is a Windows-based device. There's three different sizes. The GridPad Go is a 10-inch tablet size. GridPad 13, the number indicates the screen size, so 13 inches, and a GridPad 16, which is a 16-inch device. The GridPad 13 and 16 are eye gaze device accessible devices. They're also switch, head tracking, key guard, and touch access available as well. All of our devices can be mounted. We have a whole mounting team that's dedicated to helping that process of determining which mount will be the best fit based on the user's wheelchair or floor stand or table mount, whatever it is that that individual needs. Our GridPad Go is not eye gaze accessible. It has the ability to do switches and key guards as well. And everything is laid out pretty clearly in terms of like what access methods and what vocabulary softwares are available on each device. So when you click on one of the device tabs, you'll be able to scroll down and you can see all of the details of here's what switch scanning would look like, here's what a custom key guard would look like. We do our custom key guards in-house. Here's some mounting images here. And then the communication software available on the GridPad devices across the board is the Grid 3 software. On Grid 3, we have Talk to Me Technologies proprietary sets as well as smart boxes. So again, some of this stuff, if you've never heard of it, that's okay. It's just some new terminology that we could provide you with that education on. You can always message me again, like I said, on the side if you're interested in learning more about the different softwares and or if you have a client or family member in mind. Okie doke. So I'm going to go back to the main page here. So now we go to our talk pads and Wegos. So there's two columns here. These four devices here, they're four different sizes, and they are iOS-based devices. So I'm going to click on the talk pad first. There's an 8-inch size and a 10-inch size. Both are switch accessible. They are also have keyguard accessibility. And you can see on the side, I'm going to keep going down. Gives you all the details about the battery life, the different access methods here, and then the vocabulary software. And then it brings you down to the links of the other sizes. So there's the Wego 5A, which is a phone size. And then there's a larger Wego 13, which is a 13-inch screen size. So there's a size for everybody depending on the user's preferences, portability needs, access needs. So that's kind of where I will come in and help out based on your description of your loved one or client, how, what might be the best one to look at first. Something you might be seeing as I'm scrolling are these personalization options, the skin gallery. So again, something, as I mentioned before with our vocab team, personalization is really important to Talk to Me Technologies and making the individual feel like this device is something to be proud of and reflects their personality. So at the time of purchase, the individual will be able to choose their skin, which is what the device looks like on the outside. So just show you real quick, different patterns and designs. These are some really popular ones, the cat and the dogs. And then we work a lot with veterans, so there's a whole military section here as well. But if you've been noticing the skin gallery, that's what that is referring to. And you can kind of see what they look like when you click through some of the options there too. Our devices. Then we have a couple more Windows-based devices. So we have the Zubo 12, which is a 12-inch screen size Windows-based that also offers Grid 3 software. This device is eye gaze accessible, so you can see the eye gaze bar here on the far right. It also can have switch scanning, This is what a head tracker could look like, key guards. And then again, it kind of just goes into the vocabulary options here as well. So there's something for everybody depending on what the user is really looking for. And then lastly, this will load here, hopefully. Okay. This is just like more in depth about the eye gaze. So it shows the grid pad and then also the Zuvo 12, what they look like with the eye gaze cameras attached on the bottom. There are two different eye gaze camera options. So when someone calls me about an eye gaze user, I usually suggest me coming out to them, bringing the different hardware and eye gaze cameras to test it out because every individual's eyes are different. So it's not a one size fits all. Like if you wear glasses, you should get this camera. If you have any eye blindness or vision issues, you should get this camera. It really is, you need to try it out and to see what is going to work best for you. Okie dokie. So, again, this is a very short overview. So I know I've given you guys a lot of information. So if there are specific questions as you continue to think later on, please don't hesitate to reach out.
We
In
do
my
have a
little,
couple questions in the chat.
oh, nice. Okay, let
Um,
me pull that up. Sorry, um, let's see. Okay, cool. Okay, so Alan, thanks for your question. Okay, yeah, so it can be covered by insurance. Curious what the actual cost of the device. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you to that information here. Hold on. Can you still see my screen or is it not?
yes, we can.
You can? Okay. Saying it's, oh, there we are. Okay. So under shop, you can look at the pricing of the devices. So they're all listed based on what access method that you would be looking at. So for example, here's a GridPad 13 without the eye gaze, and then here's GridPad 13 with an eye gaze. As you scroll down, some of the iOS-based devices are down here as well. And then so every device with or without eye gaze is listed on here. And then additionally, like a mounting, for example, there would be additional costs and such. So obviously, going through the insurance, yep, no problem. And Lori had the same question, yep. Is the ideal situation, because they are medical, durable medical equipment. That's how they're classified, and that they're lockdown devices, meaning that there's no internet access. It's purely communication. But there is more to that too. If a family is interested in having the ability to have internet access for like accessible apps, like a lot of our eye gaze clients want to be able to send text messages, email, go on social media. These are huge parts of communication. Families do have the ability to unlock a device once the device is in their possession. And the software that we provide, that Grid 3 software that I mentioned, has a lot of amazing accessible apps, which just means that there are, let's say, for example, Disney Plus is one of the accessible apps that's available. So a user could navigate Disney Plus with their eyes and they can put on whatever shows they want. Spotify is another one, or WhatsApp is one. So those are all accessible apps is when I say that, that's what I'm referring to. So there is that ability to do that down the line if that is something ever that a family or a user is interested in as well. But thank you, Alan and Lori, for your question. So it looks like we have just a couple minutes left. So if anybody else has any questions, feel free to drop them in. And then Jesse did put my email in there. So feel free to message me as well if you ever want to set up a call or have any specific questions about a device or a person. The only other thing I wanted to just kind of give a disclaimer, because I know Lori Not Lori, sorry, Jesse mentioned, this will be going up on your YouTube platform. So the best way to get the most up-to-date information on Talk to Me Technologies and what we provide is to go directly through me, or on our website. There's hello at Talk to Me Technologies, because as technology changes, we offer new products, there's new services, there's always change happening. So just in case someone's watching this a few months down the line, there might be some outdated information or something new has happened or updated. So please take that into consideration when viewing this. And also just please reach out directly to me to get any up-to-date information as well.
I have one more question for you,
Sure.
Samantha. Has any user ever mentioned, like if they're in a group home setting, for example, has
Mm-hmm.
anyone ever mentioned difficulty um, with privacy concerns with what is on their Talk to Me device?
Good question. We do work a lot with individuals who reside in group homes and different facilities. That has yet to come up. In terms of anybody like remoting into a device, they would need access to that device, provided a password from the individual, that they would need to pull up. It's not something that's like easily accessible in terms of like other people finding it. Um, and for example, a lot of on our grid pads, that in one device that I was mentioning, there is a partner window on the back of the screen. So if you're having a private conversation, you can turn that off so individuals that are behind you, or behind the device rather, can't see the conversation that you're having. So there are privacy that an individual can implement. There's also abilities to go on private mode, which will stop the device from learning things that like words that you might say, and then they would repopulate, maybe let's say later down in another conversation to try to help with access. So there's private mode. So if you're having a conversation, let's say like with your doctor or a financial conversation that you don't want information to resurface on, you can do that as well. Um, Devices can be, like I said, they are locked down. So there are no ways for other people to like get on the internet and use the client's device for their own reasons. So there's that protocol as well. And there's also some lock features that can be put into place in those if there was concerns for that kind of situation.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Does anyone else have any other questions, thoughts, comments? All right, I see someone else thanking you.
Mhm. Of course. Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming, and I'm glad to have talked to you all.
All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and thank you all for joining today.